Hello, my name's Bruce again. I hope that you're having a good day. Okay, today is a special day in the province of Alberta. Today's budget day. The Premier of Alberta has declared that something along the lines of, this is kind of a quote she said, we have one more opportunity to get this right. One more opportunity to get this right. And what they're referring to is, I think it's called the Alberta Heritage Fund. Heritage Fund, which is a pool of money that comes ostensibly from mineral development, and it's kind of like a savings. Okay, there you go. Now, you're going over here. I'm over here, and I'm going to say that, talked about this a million times before, not a million times, but repeatedly. You have this idea there, this is the resources, this is the knowledge, the people, knowledge. Look, that's like the worst handwriting in the history of the world. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, and this space in here is a set of all the goods and services that can be provided with that resource and that knowledge. Okay, now, you might recall that I made a bunch of videos before trying to explain some aspects of economics as they apply to an economy that has progressive taxation. It really kind of applies to every economy. So I talked about the role of the individual. You, me, what's our job? Be happy. The role of the business, a firm, an entity. What's the job of that business? Is to generate profit. That's it. It's that simple. The role of government. What's the role of government? Is to balance the well-being and maximize the well-being of every person in the society by considering competing interests and all that stuff. And there you go. Okay? That's it. Now, and I also said something like along the lines of, and this is real, that governments, like a state government, like the government of the United States, government of any state in the United States, government of Canada, government province of Canada, any government, you pick a country, almost any country, this is true. They do not spend money in the same way that you and I spend money. The same rules do not apply, full stop, period. Okay? They don't. And I could spend a long time kind of explaining that, or you could study economics or even math. If you study some equations, differentials, like because everything is a function of everything else. Okay, let's just accept that as a sort of a way as a describer. Okay, so the Premier of Alberta has cottoned on to the Alberta Heritage Fund and has set as a goal of having $400 billion in the Heritage Fund by a date, I forget what it was, 2040, question mark. Something like that. So what that is you're saying that we're going to save up. We're going to save up for a rainy day. Okay? We're going to save up. Now, the minute that you are the leader of a government, like that you're the government, and you say that your objective is to save up, well then what has happened is you have lost a grip of what your job is. Your job is not to save up. Now, your job is to maximize the well-being of everyone within your economy. And one way that you do that is by increasing your resources and re-examining the resources that you have. Okay? Like at one time in the province of Alberta, is any of my viewers, if you use gas, fossil gas, natural gas to heat your house or cook your food, does anyone do that? Well, if you do, please leave a comment. But at one time, not that long ago, in the quest for oil in the province of Alberta, fossil gas, natural gas was either just let loose into the atmosphere because it was considered a waste product, or burned because it was considered a waste product at the well site. Okay? It's real. And I've talked about this idea of resources, a continuous re-examining of the resources that you have at hand. So then one day somebody woke up and said, you know what? In addition to this oil, we have this gas stuff and it burns. Maybe we could like sell it. And that's what happened. Okay? There's more to this story, but I'll skip over it. This idea is that you're continually examining your resources for better opportunities, for better things, okay? And then one way that happens is by one of your big resources is the people, the knowledge and skills that you have within your economy. So education is key and vital. Having a knowledgeable populace with tremendous skills and diverse skills, and skills that you didn't even imagine were useful 10 years ago, is vital, key. So this idea that your job as the government is, well, we're going to save up for a rainy day. That is straight up madness. Madness. It's just not a good idea. Maybe madness is a too pejorative term, and I don't like name calling. It's just not good. But it's not your job. Full stop. Your job is to maximize the well-being of everyone within your economy. So what you can do is you can say, we're going to expand our education system to make it more attractive for people within our society to further their, to learn more here, right? To learn more at every level, at the grade school level, at the secondary school level, at the post-secondary school level, at the doctorate level, at every level. There you are. We are going to examine the things that we're teaching within our colleges and universities against real science to ensure that we're not just spreading a bunch of nonsense. Like if we happen to have a class that's saying carbon capture and storage is our future, well, I invite you to go back and look at my carbon capture and storage little discussion, but there. So healthcare. Healthcare does a bunch of stuff. One thing that healthcare does is health. It's when you're ill, you seek medical attention. But another thing that healthcare does is it's a magnet. So when you have intelligent, brilliant people and skilled people the world over or within and you're saying, you know what, we want to live here because they have a great healthcare system. There you are. It's a magnet. Another thing that healthcare does is it frees up business from the concern of providing private healthcare, healthcare, education. We want to expand our education system. We want to make sure that our genuine stewardship of the world, right? So the genuine, I mean, not just paying lip service to it. We want to make certain that our natural environment is preserved within at least a restorable context. Like the one thing about, say, solar panels is that they can be like relatively disposed of. Wind turbines can be relatively disposed of, but there's other things that it doesn't go backwards very well, and we're seeing massive evidence that's important. Okay, so there you go. Now you might be looking at this, or maybe you're thinking, "Oh, that guy's crazy." What I'm doing is I'm offering what are the textbook exemplar ideas of sound government policy. That's it. And one textbook exemplar idea of sound government policy is democracy and elections. And what happens is if someone comes in and like say if you have 3 different people running to be the leader of the country under a democracy. Well, in every single one of them, they want the country to be better. And then if you ask them to go in a room quietly and write down a 500-word description of what you mean by better, you get all these papers together and you're going to find that they have about 90% overlap. They're, in general, you know, rational people are going to come up with a kind of a version of a similar idea. Okay, then if you take this idea and you say, well, the same people, and you say, well, how do you propose to get there? And you're going to notice that maybe they have 90% overlap on the destination, and they might have a 70% overlap on the path. Okay, then we have an election, and then we choose this person, and then 4 or 8, 12 years go by, and we're not as super happy with them, and then we can choose someone else. But the someone else that we choose is they're moving things along in the general direction of that 500-word description of what good meant, that has this idea of 90% overlap with the other people. It's like we're human beings, and what I want and what you want, you know what, are probably pretty similar. I want to have comfortable shelter. I want my wife to think well of me. You know, that is something I consider, right, in my day to day. I want the people around me to be happy. I want the people around me to have sustenance. There you go. And I want to know that 2 years from now is going to be roughly the same as now. We're going to have some evolution and some change, but we don't want to go and burn the whole thing down. Okay. Anyway, my name's Bruce. This is my channel. Thank you very much for paying attention. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Just thank you. You know, I mean, I enjoy that occasionally. Really, come on, like these videos are not that great, and this is like possibly one of the least watched channels going. But what the heck, it's mine. Okay, so once again, thank you.